Hello siblings, welcome back to Scout the Pages. Today we're going to be talking about my goals: reading, writing, channel, personal, parenting, all of the goals that I have for 2024. Hopefully this will give you some ideas about your own goals and give you an idea about what next year will bring for this channel.
One day I feel alright. The next I'm looking for the light, for the light, for the light.
Overall, let's start with my word of the year. I try to pick a word of the year that kind of encapsulates what I'm going for in my life, and next year's is intention. I am trying to not only bring my spiritual practice in with intentionally living in everyday little moments, intentionally grounding myself and being present, but also making intentional decisions that are going to better my mental health, my physical health, and everything else. All the aspects of life can be wrapped up in this one statement of living intentionally. Let's intentionally talk about the goals that I plan to intentionally implement next year. Let's start with my reading goals for next year. I plan to once again read 100 books for my Goodreads challenge. I completed it just yesterday actually for 2023, so very, very excited to get back into that next year. I think I could do better next year too. I procrastinated this year. Next year I will have a lot more time for bookish activities, so I think I can definitely knock out 100 books in the new year. My second reading goal, I'm still working on reading my bookshelves challenge, where I'm trying to reduce my physical TBR down to 30. Didn't complete it this last year. That's okay. There's no time limits. Time is a social construct. It doesn't matter when I get it done, but I'm still chipping away at my physical TBR and I'm really enjoying that. Another thing I would like to do is try new things next year when it comes to my reading. I'm going to dive into Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere series. I'm gonna do it. I already filmed the first video where I read Tress of the Emerald Sea, so check that out if you're interested. I did start with book 28, I apologize. It's just the one that was the most interesting out of his entire Cosmere. I thought it was the best chance to get me excited for the rest of this series. And I will be starting with book 1 next, I promise. We started with Tress of the Emerald Sea, but we will start going in order from here on out, starting with Elantris, book 1 in the Cosmere. Stay tuned if you're interested in that. And then I'm also going to try to get into manga next year. We'll see how that goes. I think I'm ready to dive in. I'm gonna probably start with Dead Man Wonderland because I watched that anime and really enjoyed it. I read Spy X Family this last year, I believe it was. I read like half of it and then ended up finishing out on the show. And I enjoyed it. I think the medium helps my reading goal because they tend to be pretty short and bite-sized, but also I'm just interested in getting started and testing out some of the most popular mangas out there. They're loved for a reason, I assume, so I'm gonna give them a chance. With that, reading more manga, I also plan to just read more visual novels. I did not stay on top of graphic novel and comic releases this year, which was my bad, but it happens. It was a busy year with a lot of unpredicted events. Next year, I intend to be more intentional with picking up graphic novels on a regular basis. I am also going to continue to use Cawpile next year to track my reading, and use Notion, which is new to this year. I'm tracking my reading on Notion, where I do my book reviews and video planning and everything in Notion. All of my books hopefully will end up backlogged into Notion by next year. And then I also, for a reading goal that's kind of a personal goal at the same time, I would like to use less social media, but post more social media and use Goodreads like social media. So I really find that my mental health does better when I treat Goodreads like social media and ignore real social media. I'm a post and run type if I want to stay healthy and keep my relationship with social media on the positive side. So that's kind of a reading goal that I have as far as talking about books goes. Writing goals. I plan to get into the routine again with ghostwriting, as the changes next year will hopefully change my routine in a way that I can write again. I did ghostwrite a lot in the beginning of 2023, but then I have fallen off at the end of the year, unfortunately. Life just got way busier and unpredicted, so I would like to get into that again next year and maybe start a gentle routine where it's more regular writing instead of knocking it out all in like one day. In addition to the ghostwriting, writing. I would also like to start my psychological thriller novel next year, my personal writing project for me. Hopefully I will get it published in the next decade, but it's going to be a psychological thriller and I'm very excited about it. I am filming the entire process of writing this book, so stay tuned if you're interested in that. It may be a long stay tuned because this book is very far off in the future, but I do plan to post that entire process. And another writing goal, I guess, or more like a creating goal, is I would like to create using software that I learned to use during a university, some planners and books for kids, specifically relating to pagan celebrations and what have you. So I would like to use the skills that I have with InDesign and Canva and all of that, which I gained from my experience working as a university student. And I would just like to make some things to put out into the world. I have a lot of knowledge about literacy and child rearing and education. Why not put both of those skills to use and create some books for kids? Let's move into channel goals so you know what to expect in 2024. I'm planning to post more regularly, which you've already probably noticed at the end of 2023 here. I've been posting pretty consistently week to week. I've been working really hard to find a balance between everything and I've been really enjoying it. So thank you so much if you're here. I do appreciate it and I'm doing it for all of you, but also for me. My main goal, I guess, would be to make more focused videos and longer series that are shorter videos adding up to a huge playlist. So the Cosmere series I'm going to read, I think that will be a lot of fun. I want to do more focused things. I want to dive deep into some of these larger channel projects. I did make a video recently about my 2024 projects that I have planned. Check that out if you're interested in the details. Secrets right here, spoiler alert, more giveaways are in the future. I think that would be a lot of fun and I want to help the book community, you know? I'm so happy there is a book community at all. I grew up without one, so I would love to support it. I would also like to shorten video times, which is kind of in line with more focused videos. I'd like to make my videos a little bit shorter, more bite-sized, more digestible on a regular basis instead of having one big video that I worked all year long on. That's what I'm doing right now in 2023 and it's really hard and nobody wants to spend 40 minutes on one single video. So I'm trying to bite-size my videos down in the future. And unfortunately, I will have to be making more reels. I don't love making reels, honestly. Call it the grouchy old millennial in me, but I find the editing software for reels and all of that to be really horrible and not very good, and I'm just not a fan. I'm gonna maybe dive into YouTube Shorts pretty soon. We will see. That is a low goal on the list. Let's move into some spiritual goals, some paganism goals. I would like to be more intentional. Obviously, that is something that I'm going to take my spiritual practice and put it in everything that I do. Be intentional, be positive, try to think about what I'm putting out in the world, what I bring to this world, and make it something that adds to the world instead of taking from it. In addition to that, I want to add spirituality. I want to make more intentional decisions even in the mundane. So stirring my coffee with intention, adding the sugar with intention, just being more present in the mundane of life because parenthood can get kind of monotonous. Speaking of parenthood, I would like to start celebrating the Sabbats more regularly and make it a really big deal for the child. Internally, I may celebrate the Sabbats and do things for me, but on the outside you wouldn't have even been able to tell that I was celebrating. So I want to bring my child into my practice and let her learn about what her mother does and how she celebrates the Sabbats. She already has been doing that with Yule this year and it's been so much fun. So I'm excited to show her the rest of the Sabbats of the year because they are diverse and they are fun and there is just so much to do. And lastly, I would like to practice tarot more, consult with the cards, get advice. I would just like to practice tarot more. It's just something that's really good for me and it causes more intentionality and introspection. Moving into personal goals, I would like to consistently use a planner all year long. I got a new planner. I'm going to do a planner tour at the beginning of 2024 really early where I show you what I did to set up my planner to make it super easy to use and efficient. I'm very excited because I went back to a planner that I used to use while I was in university and worked 3 jobs. So I was working 3 part-time jobs that didn't actually only do part-time hours. I was working overtime at all of those 3 jobs, but also I was a full-time student. This is the planner that I used during that really busy time of my life. I'm hoping I can make use of it again in this busy time of my life. I would like to also make more home-cooked meals and eat healthier. I want to get back into meal prepping. I was really good at the beginning of 2023. My cat is vomiting outside the door. I'm going to intentionally ignore that. In addition to meal prepping more, I would like to do more physical activity. I would like to, on a daily, stay in motion, which means more walks and more yoga. The weather is going to lighten up a lot over here. I will walk in the rain. I will walk in the snow. I will not walk in the wind, and I will not walk in over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, but I will walk in the rain and snow. So we're in that season where I can just get outside. Yesterday, I took a 1.5 hour walk with my toddler because she fell asleep. Ha! It was beautiful. It was raining. There was a double rainbow. I'll have to show you a picture here. That's the soul food for me. Next, I would like to have a big garden. My best friend this year for Christmas got me a huge box of seeds that are vegetables and plants that are purple, almost black in color. She got me my goth garden dream. So next year we're gonna go really hard on the garden, and I'm very excited about that. I will share it with you when it is finished, but I would love to just be outside more, and my kid loves being outside, so we need to make this garden extra special for her. I would also like to maximize my productivity next year. I am a stays in motion kind of person. If I am doing a lot, I will get more done than if I have less going on. So I need to basically keep myself very busy next year, and I think that will be super easy because I have a lot to do. And with that, I already mentioned, but I am going to be reducing my social media scrolling. I will continue posting. I would just like to have a routine where I limit the amount of scrolling that I do. I did download a game recently. It's this game right here, and it has significantly reduced my scrolling so far in 2023 alone. So 2024, I'm hoping this game will help me be more intentional. It's about emotions. It's kind of like got Pokemon battles with emotions, and you have little creatures and they evolve. It's cute, okay? It's cute. And then let's do the last section really quick here, which is parenting goals. I plan to be very intentional with how I describe things to my toddler next year. I'm teaching her a lot of lessons now. She's very intelligent. She's gonna be 3 next year. So I just want to be very intentional about how I say things and frame things for her so that hopefully she can grow up to be a strong, responsible, independent, and positive person. I want her to also be intentional and at peace with the world, but also not afraid to kick some, you know? I'd like to get outside more with her. Obviously the garden is going to help with that, and the walks are going to help with that, but I'd also like to take our homeschooling outside of the house, maybe take her to a local library and get like a study room, stuff like that. I want to get her out more and getting out in the world, but in safe spaces that won't make my anxiety go through the roof. And lastly, I'm gonna be homeschooling her. I would like to start teaching her to read. She's only 3, but she's very intelligent, so I think she could do it. She talked really early. She talks like a 4-year-old. We got her evaluated by a speech pathologist. Kid talks at literally 4.5 years old. It's mind-blowing. I don't know where that came from. Thank you, Miss Rachel. But because of that, I would like to teach her to read pretty early. It was recommended to me by doctors and professionals that we get on her early because she will succeed in school if we start early, since she has an advantage right now, a little head start. We should take advantage of it and run with it. Those are my goals for 2024. I would love to know your goals down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe and stay kind, siblings.
Good times, find my friends again and